Welcome back! Yes! So today we are jumping straight into the first part, which is body and nutrition. So we will begin with water. I am highlighting this very valuable thing that we have coming from our taps, and with a little bit of lemon that's helping to balance the pH in our bodies. Has done wonders for me to have lemon water mornings and evenings. Has made a big difference to my guts. And of course, water is an extremely important part of our world, our life. We are very lucky in this country to be able to either buy it in bottles or drink it out of the tap or filter it.
Today we're talking about the importance of drinking water. How much should you drink in a day, and what are the benefits to staying hydrated? So the human body is made up of 60% water, so obviously drinking water is good for normal bodily functions like digestion, regulating body temperature, creating saliva, and so forth. But you do have to remember that you are constantly losing water whenever you sweat, whenever you use the bathroom, or even when you breathe. So the recommended amount of water that you should be drinking daily by the Institute of Medicine is 125 ounces for men and 91 ounces for women. Let's talk about the specific benefits of staying hydrated. Number one, it supports your immune system. It cleans you out. I'm feeling a little under the weather right now, so I've been drinking a ton of water. I remember being at the doctor's office a couple years back with strep throat, and the doctor gave me medicine, but he said one of the most important things that you can do is just drink tons of water, like gallons, he said. So ever since, whenever I get sick, that's always my first go-to, is to make sure I'm drinking a ton of water. Reason number two, brain health. So the brain is made up of almost 75% water. If you're hydrated, you're more likely to be in a better mood, to have a clearer memory, and to have more energy. Also, headaches are almost always caused by dehydration. So the next time you have a headache, drink a tall glass of water. Reason number three is muscle fatigue. Your muscles are made up of and need a lot of water. Now here's the thing, I don't like drinking water during my workouts because it gives me stomach cramps, so that's more reason why you should be drinking water throughout the day. Reason number four is water increases your metabolism and it will help you lose weight. So if you're looking to eat less food, it's recommended that a half hour before you eat, drink a glass or two of water, and it'll make you feel more full. This way you'll eat less food. Reason number five is joint health. Now our joints are lined with a connective tissue, a cartilage that is made up of mostly water. So the more water that we have in our body, the more protection and cushion that our joints have, the less chance of injury. So the moral of the story, drink more water.
Incredible. Water. So a really big change you can all make. I once when I worked in rehabs, I had the luxury of being able to bring in different specialists to come and talk to the residents. And one day I had brought in a nutritionist who was there for several days, and I realized that she was giving them so much detail that none of them were really getting it because there was too much detail. And so I asked her at the end of her training to say, if everybody was going to do one thing, what one thing would you say would be the most helpful change they could do? And she said, a cup of warm lemon tea. And yes, it surprised me too. And now, years later, I get it. It really does make a big difference to, particularly to digestion. And one of the things which is often undervalued is the importance of our gut, the importance of going to the toilet regularly, the consistency of our excrement, if that's the correct word, how solid it is, how wet it is. These things are actually really important because they're demonstrating how good your gut is working, essentially. So there are some things which we can do which really support the gut. I've certainly found that lemon water, in its simplicity and in its regularity, is fantastic. So one of the best things you could possibly do is to start trading in some of your cups of teas for glasses of water. And in the evenings, if you are tempted to return to alcohol, remember that the alcohol is not helping you stay alive longer, the water is. So nutrition is a big topic, and what we're going to be doing over the next 10 weeks is we're going to be running through the basics of all of the stages that I normally run through in a 10-week program. If we've then got time and we've got interest, what we'll do is we'll run through them again after the 10 weeks and do another 10 weeks where we dig in with some more depth. So all of these subjects are being done in their basic form. We have only got 15 minutes each time. It's fine, we've got enough time to do something. So, nutrition. What's the general rule with food? I'm sure you all know this, but if you don't, the general rule is whole foods. What are whole foods? Whole foods are foods which come out of the earth essentially, or from a tree. So essentially things which look like food. There is an arc of healthiness when it comes to food. The very pinnacle would be something which is grown in fantastically healthy soil, which has not been reduced in its growing potential. How do I talk about that? In its mineral contents, that it's a very healthy soil and has not had any pesticides for a good long while, if at all. Something grown in nature, so maybe let's think of a blackberry on a bush which is far from, say, a road or from pesticides or other fields. You pick that blackberry is probably about, if it has not been touched by other sprays, is probably about as healthy as you can get in the British countryside. That is a whole food. What you can end up with is, what would be the far side? The far side of that might be a snack bar which says that it has blackberry in it, when actually it turns out that it has the flavour of blackberry and is created in a laboratory, the flavour at least. It is full of preservatives. What it's made from is perhaps made with sugar, perhaps made with other products which really have very little nutritional value. And the Pop-Tart or the snack or whatever it is does not look like anything which would have been grown from the earth. So it's quite difficult to, without mentioning every single product there is, but there is an arc, and as I say, one side is a super organic, super healthy, natural product which comes from the earth, and the other side is something which looks like nothing that has ever or could ever be grown, such as certain sweets, which are just little balls of created chemicals together which have an artificial flavour and are mostly sugar. So what you should be thinking of is, what would you like to be made of?
Let's pare it down to the most simple and most important thing you can know about health. That's the importance of eating whole foods. Now, we've all heard of proteins, carbohydrates, but there are a whole lot of other nutrients that are also vital for our health. Those include enzymes, antioxidants, vitamins, minerals, fiber, etc. Whole foods contain a much broader spectrum of nutritional components than their partial or processed food counterparts. In fact, whole foods are jam-packed with nutritional components. Partial foods, on the other hand, tend to be refined. This means they've actually taken the whole food and stripped away some of the nutritional components so they can create a different food. Another reason to incorporate more whole foods in your diet is that they contain enzymes. Enzymes are a vital part of every metabolic process that goes on in our body, which is to say they are necessary, or at least they significantly speed up every chemical process that our body does. Enzymes can be found only in whole natural foods. Processed foods don't contain any enzymes at all. Enzymes are also very sensitive to cooking at high heat and microwaving. So even if you have a really healthy food, if you're cooking it at a really high heat or putting it in the microwave, you're denaturing or killing a lot of those enzymes. We want to be eating whole foods and eating as many antioxidants as possible so that we won't have symptoms of accelerated aging and other degenerative diseases. Whole foods also give us more energy. Now, I'm not only referring to the fact that we will actually feel more energized when we eat whole foods, but that our cells actually can get more energy from whole foods than from processed foods. Now, I really feel for fats. They've gotten a bad rap. Fats that come from vegetable sources, especially vegetable oils like coconut oil or olive oil, even flaxseed oil, contain a lot of really beneficial fats that are absolutely essential for our bodies. Even fats that come from nuts like almonds or walnuts, and from avocados and other natural whole foods contain a lot of really beneficial fats that we need. Fats that are bad for us and that actually cause fat in the body usually come from processed foods. So these are saturated fats like margarine. These are fats that are found in many of the baked goods or bakery items that we find wrapped up in plastic and packaged to us. Another benefit of whole foods is that they have an alkalizing effect on the body. Research has shown that when the body's pH is more alkaline and less acidic, our cells actually function more optimally and our body is more healthy. Foods that are acid forming in the body include most meats, dairy, alcohol, sugar, tobacco, and most any processed food. So processed flours and refined sugars, all of these things are acid forming in the body. But not all acid forming foods are necessarily unhealthy. It's just important that we're eating more alkaline forming foods than acid forming foods. So the alkaline forming foods are most vegetables, with the exception of corn, which is actually acid forming. Especially the leafy green vegetables are highly alkalizing. Herbs and fruits are highly alkalizing. And lemon is one of the most alkalizing foods. So one of the best things that you could start doing today is adding more lemon to your tea or adding lemon to your water, and just in general trying to incorporate more lemon and other alkaline forming foods into your diet.
So if you're really feeling like, yeah, you've eaten pretty badly for a long time, you've drunk pretty badly for a long time, you're interested in staying alive for a long time, you're interested in having the healthiest body you can have and being as happy as you can, well, to do a reset can be a fantastic thing to do. And that's done by doing a fast very often. And really you just need water and lemon, but really just water, good quality water if you get some spring water particularly. And do that for a few days, and when you finish, be really cautious about having really healthy food coming into your body, and slowly. So that is the end of this session. One of the exercises I begin with often is simply doing circles, just to get my shoulders warmed up, get my arms, my chest, all of me just warmed up, and then I reverse it. So if you do nothing else, perhaps you just do that. So until the next time, take care. Thank you for joining me.